Hello everybody, SSA here, aka Super Suna Arashi, your coach of the Groningen Noctowls, bringing you my draft analysis for the PMC Season 6. A new year and a new league, and I'm very proud to be part of this one, because last year we were part of the PMC Deal League. This season we're actually part of the main roster. And I'm very satisfied with my draft in general. I know there's a lot of questions about my draft. We had the draft stream last night and the analyst had a lot of questions of certain choices of my draft. And in this video I will address the reason for my picks, why I think it works well with my playstyle, and just why I think that with this team we can actually score high. Because for my goal this season, I think we should actually try to aim high and reach playoffs. And I think with the team that we have, I can make that happen. It's a mix of Pokemon I've used before in the past, combined with Pokemon that I want to use or haven't used, and this is like a new way for me to actually try out some stuff. I will try to keep this draft analysis for about 25 minutes. That's the max that I want to keep this draft analysis. But again, once I start talking, I don't know when to stop, and sometimes I keep rambling on. But either way, if you're hyped for the PMC Season 6, if you're hyped for another draft league where I, SSA, coach of the Groningen Noctowls, is a part of, hit that like button down below, comment, share this video with others, slash the subscribe button down below, and hit that bell icon. Also follow PMC and all the coaches on Twitter or other social media to get updated on the latest news. And also join the PMC Discord and, click that Groningen Noctowls role there to support my team. Alright, so let's start off with the first pick of my team, and a very questionable at the start, but my first pick, round 1, is Metagross tier 3, and a lot of people were like, Metagross round 1, why? Well, if you have followed me on the IBA Season 4 last season, you'll know that Metagross was the MVP of my team, and I've used Metagross for the first time in that league, and I had a blast. This Pokemon is absolutely amazing. It's not that fast, but it doesn't need to be fast because it hits like a truck. It's bulky as well, amazing typing and Steel Psychic, and you can just do a lot of this with this Pokemon in terms of Assault Vest. You can put the Expert Belt on it, you can put Weakness Policy on it, chop a ability on that move pool, and you have a dangerous force to be reckoned with. I loved Metagross in the IBA. It made me, love this Pokemon, and it definitely is now in my top 10, maybe even top 5 favorite Pokemon to use in the League Draft format. And I chose him as number 1 because I have a policy when it comes to draft leagues, like if you had an MVP in a previous league or a previous season, you have to draft that Pokemon again in the next league you're in, because I don't know, maybe it's superstition or something like that, but I really wanted to use Metagross again, and I think this Pokemon is going to be another powerhouse in my team for this season. And I think, with the draft as it followed, I think this Pokemon really works well with my team. So on to the next pick, we have of course Infernape. Now Infernape is just great overall. The Infernape is probably one of the best starters to use in draft league format. It's a hard hitting mon, it's fast, you can also work around with it with Stealth Rocks. It's just, a Pokemon that, if you're new to draft league format, this is my tip, if you're new to draft league format, there's no way you can go wrong with Infernape. It's tier 1 for a reason. It is an amazing Pokemon in general, and I've used it in the past before, and with Metagross I thought, Infernape and Metagross works around well, and I think with Infernape we also have a mon that I can experiment a little bit. I'm a coach that likes to experiment, tries out something new, try some to be, surprising to my opponents. So I think with Infernape and Metagross we have 2 hard hitters right away from the start, And we were like 5th overall in draft pick, so we were very fast to pick first. Then we have to wait like a long time before we can pick again. So not the best place to be in a draft league order, but still with Metagross and Infernape right away from the start, I had an amazing, feeling that we can actually build an amazing team for this league. So on to my 3rd pick of the PMC Season 6, and that is Suicune. Now, I haven't used Suicune ever. This is going to be the first time that I'm using Suicune, and I know Suicune can be a very annoying mon to be facing off against. It's very bulky, it's very good with my team because we had a ground type weakness, so with Suicune we have an answer for that. You can do the Crocoon stuff with Calm Mind, Rest, Sleep Talk, Scald. You can put like Protect on it to be even more annoying. It has Ice Beam, so that works around well as well. And it's just an amazing mon. I've never ever had the chance to use Suicune in the past. Most likely because back in the past I really wasn't a fan of stall mons. I wasn't really a fan of bulky mons. But during the course of the years, I'm beginning to feel more adjusted to play around with my playstyle, play around more defensively, and I think Suicune is going to be a very fun mon to use. Again, I haven't used in the past, so I can't really form a 100% opinion about this mon, but I think Suicune with Infernape and Metagross, I think the first 3-4 picks of this draft were amazing. Then a lot of picks that I really wanted or I had my eyes on was like gone, so I had to improvise, and that is something I do with every draft stream. Like I have a plan ready, and then 4 or 5 picks in, I scrap the whole plan because then a lot of mons were taken, and you have to consider points, and you have to consider your whole team as a whole. So that is that. But my next pick I had my eyes on, and I'm very glad that we can finally use it in a Wi-Fi league, and that is Mega Pinsir. Now Mega Pinsir, again, a hard-hitting mon, a sweeper, very fast. We get that bug flying type with Metagross, plus we don't have to Mega Evolve right away from the start. So that can be very, very useful if somebody tries to put up the Stealth Rocks or something else. Like if somebody puts up the Stealth Rocks, we can easily try to not Mega Evolve Pinsir right away from the start, get rid of the Stealth Rocks, and then try to do actually some crazy stuff with this mon. And Mega Pinsir is a crazy mon because that Aerialate ability, I think it was like nerfed in Ultra Sun and Moon, but it's still an amazing mon and a force to be reckoned with. It's like, it works very well with my team now, with Metagross and Infernape there, and I think Mega Pinsir, just like Metagross, it's gonna stack up on kills this season because, very late endgame, Mega Pinsir can actually run house against a lot of the teams in this league, and quick attack, it has priority, you can put up Sword Stance on that thing to make it even more dangerous than it already is. And you can actually see at the previous pick from Mastodon and Gastrodon's Florges, I really had my eyes on Florges for this season as well, but because I've used it in the PMC D League, and I know Florges is a mon that I'm also comfortable using with, but alas, we're going for another fairy type in this season, which I will be, talking about later. But Mega Pinsir, very happy that we have a Mega that is, very offensive. I've been playing very offensive the last couple of seasons in Draft League format, and yeah, Mega Pinsir, it's an amazing mon to use, and I'm happy that we have it in this team. Now next up, we have a mon that I am really happy that we have, and that is Vileplume. Now, Roserade was already taken, I believe, just before. I want to pick that mon. I can't stress about it enough. I really love Roserade, but Roserade was already taken. So I was looking at the grass types choices that could work with my team, and I saw Vileplume. Now Vileplume is very, very fun to use. It's like not that bulky, but it's bulky enough so that it can work with my team. It can hit hard with that special attack stat, plus Strength Sap is something I really want to use this season in Draft League format. It's such an amazing attack to use, and of course Fireplume also gets Effect Spore, so we can also, you know, hope for the hacks on that side in Pokemon, but it gets Sleep Powder as well, very tricky, but Roserade has that as well. So Vileplume, haven't used that Pokemon in Draft League format as well. I've, you know, used it on Pokemon Showdown for LOLs, I believe, a few times, and it's a very fun one to use. I think Fireplume can actually surprise a lot of you guys in this season. And, you know, with Suicune and Infernape, we now, you know, finished the Grass, Water, Fire core. And Fireplume, Suicune, and Infernape really works well with each other. And yeah, there's nothing really more to say about this pick. I basically summed up everything that Fireplume does. And you know, you can put a Black Sludge on it, you can put something else on it to make it even more bulkier, but Vileplume is here. I'm very happy, and I hope it can actually surprise a lot of you guys in this season. Now, next up to our next pick, we have Salamence. Now, a lot of people were saying that they, you know, don't like Salamence that much in the draft live stream. I haven't used Salamence myself, so I can really form an opinion on that, but looking at my team, I really need a Dragon type, and a lot of Dragon types were already gone, and I really didn't want to use Druddigon this season because I didn't felt like it would work well with the team that I already have. But Salamence is also our Sea Captain. Now, with that, Salamence actually became something that can work really well with my team, being a Sea Captain in my team. We have 2 Sea Captains this season. The last one will be mentioned later, but I think Salamence can potentially do some stuff for my team in this season. Now, I don't know if I will use Salamence that much. It's basically there for me to have an option when it comes to a flying type now and a dragon type. Now, as I said before, I haven't used Salamence at all, and it's going to be, you know, a bit. It's a mon that I'm feeling like I really wanted to use Salamence in a draft league format, and I think I can use it to its fully potential, but it really depends on the opponents that I'm facing and if I want to run a C item on it to make it extra dangerous on my side of the field. Now, if that actually, you know, a lot of people were like, you know, I'm not a big fan of Salamence, I can really say if Salamence is going to, you know, be a surprising factor of my team, I just saw it on the board and I was like, it's an option for my team, it works for my team. I'm like, you know what, we have to draft it because, you know, other dragon types, you know, options were not that, you know, high ranked for me. And I was like, I think Dragon Knight was already, you know, taken from the board. So I was like, you know what, Salamence, let's try it out. Let's put it on my team and let's see if we can actually, you know, manage to make it work. And if not, we always have the option to trade it away or for a free agent. So Salamence is here. It's a bit of a risky take for me in this league draft, but we'll see how it goes. Now, next up, we have Gardevoir, so there is the fairy typing that I want. It also gives me another psychic type. We have a lot of psychic types now with Metagross and Gardevoir. But Gardevoir is just an amazing mon. It's not mega, but it gives me the fire type. We now have a fire. We have a fairy, steel, and dragon core with Metagross, Gardevoir, and Salamence, which works really well with each other. Generation 3 hype here in the chat, but in the chat, I'm recording this. I don't know. My caffeine is now starting to work for a little bit. But Gardevoir is a mon I've used in the past. I've used a mega variant, but Gardevoir with items options, it can really work around well in my team. Fairy typings, we have a very offensive fairy, but we can also, you know, make it a little bit bulky, make it more of a vitality mon. It's gonna be, you know, I said it in the beginning of this draft analysis video, the first 4 picks were like very confident on using these mons, and then we were kind of like, maybe I should pick this one, or maybe you know what, scrap the idea, let's YOLO it. But I think Gardevoir can actually work around very well with my team, and it gives us an option, another psychic type option, so that if I want to keep Metagross out of the picture in one match, and my opponent expects Metagross, we have Gardevoir here that can also do a lot of work, very much on the special side. But it gives us some more options, and you will probably see that more on this team, that we have a lot of double typings in this team, just to give myself some more options when it comes to team building and facing off different opponents. So Gardevoir is here. I've used it in the past, only the Mega variant, but I don't think the regular variant is that much of a difference. So Gardevoir is here, and I'm very happy that we can scoop up this mon. Now next up, we have Feraligatr. Now again, double typing. We already had Suicune. Now we have another water typing in Feraligatr, and again, in the live stream from the draft, I don't know who it was exactly who it said, but he didn't saw Feraligatr fitting for my team because we already had Suicune. But the reason why I picked Feraligatr is mostly due to sheer force. Now, last season in the IBA, I had Druddigon, who also has sheer force, and I've used sheer force on Druddigon for the rest of that season. It's a very, dangerous ability to have on a team because it can hit like a truck. Now, Feraligatr is also an offensive water type, whereas Suicune is more of a defensive water type. And my idea with Feraligatr was like, if I want to play offensive with an offensive water typing, it's going to be difficult to do that with Suicune. It's possible, but I'd rather have like a really hard-hitting water type if I face off against an opponent who doesn't like, water in general. And there comes Feraligatr, who I think can actually fit that position very well. Again, it has Liquidation, it has Dragon Dance, Sheer Force. It can actually, be a dangerous aspect. And as I said before, I'm really playing hyper offensive most of the time now, or very offensive to say the least. And I think Feraligatr really works well with my playstyle. And I haven't used Feraligatr in the past, but knowing what its move pool is, and knowing what its ability is, and knowing what I can do with it, if I bring Feraligatr in a match, I know I can make it work and get him some few kills in this season. And a lot of people will be like, we already had Suicune, why draft another Watermon? Couldn't you go for another option that works well with your team? But I believe that my pick for Feraligatr, if I'm going to use him in battles, will actually be very helpful. And I think that Feraligatr can surprise people if used in battles against the right opponents. Now, next up, we have a mon that I have used also in the IBA and have used very confidently, and that is Hitmonlee. Now, again, people were like, why draft Hitmonlee? Because you already had Infernape. They're basically the same mon that, do the same thing. But what people forget with Hitmonlee is that Hitmonlee has a potential to sweep with his ability Unburden. Now, I've used Unburden White Herb in the IBA last season, and it worked amazingly. Of course, I will try to, not use it as much in this season and try to surprise my opponent with some other movesets. But Hitmonlee, just like Metagross, I think Hitmonlee was like the MVP after Metagross. I had Hawlucha in my team in the IBA, and I felt like Hawlucha wasn't going to be used that much, so I traded off Hawlucha for Hitmonlee, and with that trade we actually did amazing things in the second half of the IBA season. And Hitmonlee gives us another option for a Rapid Spinner. It gives us, a move pool that coverage a lot of, it gets Blaze Kick, it gets Poison Jab. It has a very wide move pool in that regards. And close combat, White Herb, of course, White Herb or anything else. His abilities is something I've really am fond of using, and you know, just like Metagross, you know, I saw that Hitmonlee was still available in the draft, and I was like, I want to have this mon in my team as well. I want to get this mon from the IBA to the PMC as well, because I think I can actually use this thing again to its fully potential, and I'm very confident in using this mon. And Hitmonlee is just an amazing mon in general, so I was like, you know what? It was available. I had a fighting type already, but having an extra fighting type can be helpful. So why not bring this motherfucker in and see what we can actually do. I was, you know, lost for words there to say, so in doubt, I swear. So let me actually take a moment to drink. Because my throat is a little bit messed up, but on to our next mon, which is Sandslash. Now, I didn't have a ground type in my team already, and having a ground type in a draft team is very essential. You need a ground type because ground types are most of the time defensive mons or mons that can actually hard hit. Now, a lot of good ground types were already gone, and I'm like, you know what? Let's draft my mascot of the channel, and that is Sandslash. Now, Sandslash I've used, I think, once in League Draft format, and that was like back in 2016, so in Oris format. And I know Sandslash is not a special mon. It basically does the same thing Donphan does, but only worse. It has knockoff, it has poison jab as well, it has the ability to put up the stealth rocks, rapid spin again. We have a lot of rapid spin and stealth rocks and defog uses in its team, which I'm also very confident, because then, you know, we have options to actually switch around with my team and, you know, put stealth rocks on that mon, rapid spin on that mon, and then the next week we could actually switch stuff up and do the other way around, or just, you know, in general. And most of the time, you know, you see Sandslash running stealth rocks and rapid spin, earthquake, and possibly knockoff. But you know, it gets a lot of other moves that it can make this Pokemon. It's my favorite Pokemon in general. It's my channel mascot for a reason. It's like, how can I put this? I just really wanted to use Sandslash in League Draft format. It's my mascot. Come on, I could have drafted Noctowl as well, but Sandslash is my boy. Sandslash is here, and I could have drafted Alolan Sandslash for that Ice type, but you know, looking at my team, regular Sandslash works better in that regard, and yeah, Sandslash is here, and I don't know if I will be using Sandslash that much, but if I'm going to use it, you better believe that I'm going to try to get a kill or an assist with this thing, because, you know, seeing Sandslash succeed would make my heart glow up. But we're on to the final pick. Now, this final pick, okay, I'm going to keep you guys in suspense. This final pick, like, when I was like at my 4-3 final picks, I saw that this mon was available, and I knew I had the right amount of points to get this mon in my team. So I was like, shall I draft it? So I did some research. I, you know, checked out his movesets. I tried to see what it can be used for if I put a Sea Crystal on it, because this Pokemon is the last Sea Captain. And the more that I think about it, the more I became enthusiastic to use this mon, because I will be using this mon a lot if necessary. And that, my friends, is Murkrow. Now, Murkrow is no joke. Murkrow can actually potentially get some few kills as well. Plus, giving him the Sea Crystal gives him so much more possibilities. Sea Mirror move is probably one of the best Sea moves to use. Not only are you going to, you know, copy the last move that your opponent uses, which can be very tricky to use, but if used right, it can actually, give you the momentum back in the match and give you maybe some extra push in a match. But not only that, it gives Murkrow a boost of +2 in attack. Now combine that with Brave Bird, combine that with Pursuit. I think this thing gets Pursuit. Combine that with Sucker Punch. It is a force to be reckoned with at that point. Plus, this Mon gets the Prankster ability, which makes sure that Roost, no problem, we'll get back at health right away. Thunder Wave, you're gonna get paralyzed, my friend. Toxic, you're gonna get poisoned, my friend. Murkrow is going to be not a gimmick Mon, but it's going to be the Mon that I believe a lot of people will raise their eyebrows and be like, what the fuck is this thing doing in his team? And then people will probably drop their jaw when actually seeing this thing in action in battle. Because Murkrow, I'm going to nickname Murkrow, of course, after my bird, Kiko. I nickname all my bird Pokemons Kiko, by the way, but this thing, ooh, I am going to love using this thing in League Draft format. It's going to be so much fun. Murkrow has always been one of my favorite Generation 2 Pokemon. I'm actually considering getting a Murkrow tattoo on my body. No lie, because I love birds and I love Generation 2 of Pokemon. So it's either a Murkrow tattoo or an actual Noctowl tattoo. But, Murkrow is going to shine. You better believe it. Murkrow is going to shine. And with Hit being a Sea Captain as well, people need to be careful when facing off against Murkrow. That's all I can say. But with that, we have my full team here. We've got Infernape, we got Suicune, we got Metagross, we got Gardevoir, we got Vileplume, we got Sandslash, we got Mega Pinsir, we got Salamence, which is our first Sea Captain, Feraligatr, Hitmonlee, and we got Murkrow was our second Sea Captain. And that basically sums up my entire team for this season in the PMC. Now, on the day that this is going to be uploaded, tomorrow on the Sunday, the first match of the PMC will be uploaded as well, as the Groningen Noctowls will take on the Lawrence Talonflames, coached by Austin, aka Garchomp the God. Now, I'm not gonna spoil anything from that match, but I just have to say that you better be ready for that match, because it's going to be a roller coaster. But with that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this draft analysis video. Again, if you're hyped, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, share this video with others, slash the subscribe button down below, and hit that bell icon, because then you get notified every time I upload a new video, and that is sincerely appreciated. Be sure to check out all of the coaches in this season of the PMC in the description down below. Subscribe to them, subscribe to the PMC YouTube page, and follow the PMC YouTube page on Twitter to be updated on the latest news. Also, go join the PMC Discord and join in the fun and talk with the coaches. And I think there will be pick'ems as well and a lot of other stuff, so make sure that your guys join that Discord. And if you want to roast my team, you can also do that there, because I know people were roasting me right away from the start with round 1 Metagross, but I'm happy that I have it. I'm happy with my team, and I'm very confident that we can actually make some magic work in this season. Now, that rests me to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the first match of the PMC for the Groningen Noctowls.